Hello, my witchlets. Today is Ostara. It is the vernal equinox, and this particular Sabbat is one of the ones that I personally celebrate. 2 years ago, actually, a friend of mine invited me to San Diego for a circle that she was hosting, and I met several new friends from that, and that was the first experience I had with this particular aspect of my faith. And it was during that circle that I met my feminine deity, who is Hestia. So I am a born-again Christian, which I know this seems really weird, being a born-again Christian and also, I guess, pagan. But I just always felt like there was something missing in my faith, because we always talk about God, and God is masculine, and he has a son, and he is this, and he is that. And I'm like, okay, that's great. What about the female aspect? Because there needs to be a balance. There's always a balance. And everybody's like, well, God is both masculine and feminine. I'm like, really? So if I refer to her as she, you're not going to get upset with me? But of course they did. So I needed to figure out how I was going to deal with all of that. And we did a guided meditation, and it was really interesting. I didn't know what to expect, and what I ended up seeing was a woman who had fiery red hair, a crown of flowers. She was wearing kind of flowy robes and everything, and she was just really pleasant and really warm and inviting. And as I got to talking with her, I discovered that it was Hestia, which I thought was really odd because I'm not a maternal person, and I always associated Hestia with hearth and home and maternal things and everything. But the more I learned about her and the more that I got to know her, she's actually more the deity of entertaining, which is exactly what I do. If you come to my house, I'm going to make sure that you are fed, that you have a place to stay. If you're even thinking about visiting the area and I'm talking to you, I'm like, oh, if you need a place to stay, I've got a guest room, kind of thing. It's just, that's my natural tendency, and it made complete sense that Hestia would be the deity that I would not necessarily gravitate towards, but that would be the one that would come to me and aid me in everything. So when I cast my circle, I have specific deities that I call upon for at least two of the areas in the circle. So if you want to participate with me, that's fine. You can cast your own circle. I highly recommend it. My circle only extends, in my apartment. So if you want to go for it, that's great. I've got my altar here. It's all set up for Ostara. See, I've got like little eggs over here and a puka, a cow. I don't know. It's fun stuff. I know I have incorporated Legos into my altar. I think it's fantastic. And then this is actually where we're going to do the spell, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I think I'm not really one for spell work. It's not really my thing, but I think in this particular time, actually, what we're going to do is actually going to be beneficial, and I don't really see it so much as a spell as I see it more of a verbalization of intent. I see it more as clearing your mind, clearing your emotions, and setting intent to move forward, which is really what Ostara is about. It's about rebirth and springing forward and such, because, spring. So I'm going to go ahead and cast the circle in the way that I cast a circle. The way I do it is probably different than the way you do it, and that's fine. There is no right or wrong way to cast a magic circle. Get my Nag Champa going here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and begin. Spirit of Earth, I call upon you. Spirit of air, I call upon you. Spirit of fire, I call upon you. Spirit of water, I call upon you. Mother of Earth, Hestia, I call upon you. Father in heaven, Jehovah, I call upon you. The circle is cast. All right, so I have several books that I bought. They're from Llewellyn's Sabbat Essentials, and it's one book per Sabbat. It has things in it like how the Sabbat used to be celebrated, how Wiccan people mostly celebrate now in the modern times. There's spells and divinations. I usually skip that part. And I usually just go straight to the recipes and crafts because cooking. Unfortunately, with the way the world is right now, with everybody in forced isolation, quarantine, seclusion, etc., I had to cancel the actual circle that I was going to do on Sunday, which is fine. We were going to have food and just celebrate spring and the abundance that is to come with spring. However,
I can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with
the way that the coronavirus is going through the world, and specifically through America and California, where I live, I decided to open my Ostara book and see what spells and rituals there were for, Ostara. And the very first thing I read was a spell to assist in difficult changes. I'm going to read a little bit of this to you, and we're going to go ahead and do this spell. And this is pretty much what we're going to do. Because, Ostara is spring, it's rebirth, it's moving forward, it's coming out of the darkness of winter and into the light of spring. So, a lot of changes do tend to happen around the springtime, but this particular change, I don't think any of us were expecting or even wanting, so to speak. So you will need 2 candles for this spell. You will need a black one and a blue one, and then of course something to light them with. Take several deep breaths to empty your mind and empty your thoughts. And the thing is, Ostara is about new beginnings, but sometimes starting over is one of the hardest things that we can ever imagine doing. Whether it's starting a new job, starting a life without a spouse or a significant other, or maybe even starting life with a spouse or a significant other, change is hard. And in our cases, a lot of us are having to work from home, which is something that we never thought we would ever have to do. And some of us might not be happy with the fact that we're stuck inside the house for the next however long. Our social lives have been canceled, our home lives have been altered. There's a lot. So change is hard. Sometimes even though we know something may be for the best, that doesn't make it easier to deal with. So most of us fight against change, which is completely natural, but it's not going to get us anywhere but frustrated. So even if the change is something that we want, it's still difficult to adjust to. But when the change is something we don't want, it can feel downright suffocating to have to do something we have to do but don't want to do. So we're going to think about that, and I've actually rewritten the spell for my own personal reasons, I guess. I feel better when I can base it on something, but work it to what I'm thinking and feeling and, you know, that kind of stuff. So the first thing we're going to do, you did not see me break the binding of my book. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to light the black candle. We're going to take all of our negative emotions and negative feelings and negative thoughts, and we're going to put them into that flame. And we're going to let that flame burn those thoughts and burn those negative emotions away. The stress, hurt, and worry I feel burn away in this flame. May these changes take and keep and remind me from whence I came. And we'll take a moment now to take all of those negative thoughts and negative emotions and direct them towards this black candle. When you're ready, light the blue candle. This candle is for bringing the positive and accepting the change that may be inevitable in some cases. Anytime you have a negative thought, direct it over to the black flame. Only negativity goes to the black flame. Only positivity goes to the blue flame. Moving forward, moving on, so too must these changes be. The needs of the many over the needs of the few is all that I need to see. Give me strength and courage, both these trials for to face, for I know we all shall rise with calm and emboldened grace. Take a moment to stare into the blue candle and focus on the positive that these changes are going to make for us. For example, in my working life as an industrial and organizational psychologist, having everybody have to work from home makes it that much easier for me to pitch those ideas to businesses, to explain how beneficial it can be to have people who can work from home. Not everybody can. Some people need to be in an office, but there are those people who work better and thrive more when they are at home because of the creativity, the more relaxedness to allow them free thought. There's a whole bunch of things that go on. So this change can be very positive for where I want to go with my business. So we'll take a moment to focus on the positive. If during this moment you have any negative thoughts or negative emotions come up, move over to the black flame, direct them there, and then go back to the blue. We'll spend just another moment. Alright, and as we end this spell, to the black candle, we say, negative feelings, I don't need you. I cleanse and release you into the air. And to the blue candle, we say, these changes I make are for the best. I accept and release you into my surroundings. So mote it be. This isn't a once and done spell. This is a spell that you can do every day if you need to, every week, every 2 weeks, as frequently as you need until all of those negative emotions about the change that's going on have gone away. I know a lot of us are stressed about finances. That's probably the number one stressor that a lot of people have right now because they're being furloughed, laid off, they can't work from home, but their hours have been cut for whatever reason. There's a lot of stress out there. Just take that stress and identify it, direct it, and then release it and let it go. Focus on the positive aspects of what's going on right now. Maybe this is a time where you can learn a new skill, and maybe that will make you more marketable once our quarantine or whatever is over. Maybe you can pick up a different type of job that allows you more creative freedom, and you find that you're able to explore avenues that you weren't able to explore before. Direct that towards your blue candle and focus on that positivity. And then you can start doing affirmations and visualizations to make those things come into existence. That is pretty much all I had planned for the circle today. I'm going to go ahead and close it, and thank you guys for tuning in whenever and wherever you may be. Spirit of water, you were here, and I thank you. Spirit of fire, you were here, and I thank you. Spirit of air, you were here, and I thank you. Spirit of earth, you were here, and I thank you. Goddess of earth, Hestia, you were here, and I thank you. God of the heaven, Jehovah, you were here, and I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be.